Hello everyone, Travis here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be working in the Mega Park once again. Mega Park, I don't know why the G sometimes gets pronounced by like a C, but anyway, Mega Park. We're going to go ahead and move into a time lapse. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be working on today, but you will see shortly. Alright, and we are back in the Mega Park working on where we left off last time. This building, just adding a couple of like landscaping type details to it. There's still a ton to do in this area. If you notice, I actually redid the pathing for that coaster. I noticed that there was this open kind of triangular plaza there, and I felt like that was a good place to put the entrance to the coaster, and like I could do like a sign maybe or whatever to to show that that's the entrance to the ride. And also, if you look in real life, you'll notice that at the entrance to major attractions there tends to be kind of open space, because sometimes there's overflow in the line when something's brand new. So yeah, we're kind of bouncing all over the place in this one. You'll notice. One thing that I got a comment months ago now, that said that the majority of my coasters are like, I didn't really have any family coasters, and at that time that was true. I only had the Mine Train coaster in the Ghost Town area, and then I added the Wild Mouse coaster in the Boardwalk, and I think that's it as far as family coasters go. So I wanted to have sort of a kiddie area. So this is a kiddie coaster, and it makes 2 laps, and I feel like we've all ridden them, or all at least been, in a park that has them. I think that, like, for me, now that I'm a little bit of an enthusiast and care about coaster counts, like, these are the type of coasters that were like, man, I wish my niece was here with me, because then I could totally use her to get this credit, which I have done before. But anyway, nothing really impressive about this coaster, but it's just one of those kiddie type coasters. I know that there are specific manufacturers for those as well. I don't know if this is inspired by anything in real life. Again, there's not like an emphasis on realism in this park whatsoever. So it's just, whatever fit in that space. I've known for a while that was going to be a spot for a kiddie coaster, and that I was going to put a bunch of small, slow sort of flat rides around here. I might do something like crazy with the theme. Not crazy, but, kind of like more colorful and fun with the theming maybe, once I get to that stage. I was feeling a little uninspired today, and that's why I bounced around a lot. But I wanted to make sure I got a video out for you on Theme Park Thursday this week, because that's kind of what I'm going for, is every Thursday to have some sort of theme park related video out for you. That's something that I started a couple months ago, but just have obviously not really fallen through on. But I do plan to make that sort of the goal, a way to keep myself accountable. And then obviously, for those of you who pay attention to schedules and that kind of thing for YouTubers, you should get used to seeing that from me. Okay, so as you can see, we've bounced over to the Alpine area now, and I'm just putting in a little like sausage stand over there. This is very like European inspired, in my opinion, like that Tudor kind of architecture over here, and so I thought like a sausage stand would make sense here. You'll see that I went with the same kind of like wood trim kind of detailing and stuff on this. It's a little bit different than what I've done in other buildings, but I decided to make the building itself a different color, because so much of it is that whitewash kind of stucco texture with brown trim, or brown with white trim. I thought we needed another color, but of course it needed to be kind of more or less neutral. And so this peachy color falls between kind of brown and maybe red, if you kind of stretch the imagination a little bit. So, that's what I was going for there, just so the buildings don't become too samey, you know what I mean? As I've mentioned probably every episode of this series, this is a big park. And so it's very easy to have repeating buildings to the point where it's, becomes noticeable and jarring, and we don't want that. So we're doing our best to fit that in. And then I think, so it's just a little sausage stand, and I think, we'll have some seating around that open green area for people to sit in. Now I'm just cleaning up some of the foliage. I remember, or if you remember right, last video I noticed that the bushes were way out in the water. I don't know why I did that. That obviously was something I did originally and just didn't pay much attention to it when I was fixing it up last time. It still doesn't look great, but again, as I've mentioned, the foliage in this park is not something that I'm trying to be real impressive with. It is very much on purpose that I'm keeping it the way that it is. I wanted to adjust the track a little bit. This is the only spot that I'm actually changing on this ride. It came down that hill and then it immediately turned, and I felt like that was a little bit dangerous. There is one other spot where it does that, but it looks really good against the building, and I don't want to have to redo the building to change it, so I'm just going to leave it, and it's mostly hidden in foliage anyway, so maybe people won't really notice that one as much, but that front one I definitely noticed every time I looked at that ride, and I was like, nope, that's got to change. And I finally changed it, and it took me like 10 seconds, and I was like, man, why was I putting that off? But yeah, I'm just adding some more detailing to this building, more of that trim. The thing I'm not like wanting is for this to look like cartoony or like Disney-like. That's not the vibe we're going for. I want these to kind of look like real buildings, like, if this were a little village in real life or something. But at the same time, I do want it to have, as you can see, there's like a showroom kind of building on the back of that. So it's kind of like a hybrid between facade and actual buildings. Let's see. So yeah, I came back over here to mess with the colors because, like I said, I'm bouncing around and being weird with this section. Again, this section's going to be done up, real kind of like fun, hopefully, at some point. If you hate this layout, I don't really care because, like I said, it's just a kiddie coaster, and it is what it is. But we needed another type of coaster in the park. Let's see. This is me just kind of looking around for whatever other little details I can do because obviously I wasn't wanting to do something real major in this episode. But so the last thing, I think this is the last thing I do today, is I just sort of build kind of a tunnel building for this hypercoaster, and obviously I wanted it to fit into the boardwalk area without, again, being the same thing, just repeated. One thing I'm not like a huge fan of is how the trim turned out on this building. I went with a crisp white trim, which I thought would look really good, but it stands out a lot against that teal. And, sometimes when that happens, it'll grow on me, and so I decided to leave it for today. If I end up coming back in later and still not liking it, then I'll probably make some tweaks to it. Probably off camera, because it's just a small little building. It doesn't even serve a function other than just being a cool little effect for that coaster, like a head chopping moment, whatever it's called. But yeah, so you see me doing the trim now. We'll see. I might come back and use a different type of trim, just mix it with that white trim so that it doesn't look so obvious and kind of chunky and weird. You'll see that trash and litter and everything is piling up everywhere. I'm going to have to, before I submit this for showcase and stuff, I'm going to have to zone the staff members so that they'll actually clean certain areas and fix rides like they're supposed to and whatever. I normally cheat that stuff. You can get away with it in smaller parks because it takes a lot longer for things to fall apart. But in a big park like this, honestly, within 5 minutes, the park rating is falling and, things are looking crazy. But anyway, that brings us to the end of the video, as you can see. I want to thank you all for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see, a thumbs down if you don't. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that said, you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, night, etc., wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all next time.